But suddenly, like, the biggest story was on our own doorstep. I didn't have to travel anywhere.
L-ewwel midalja tad-deheb tal-Malta Society of Arts ingħatat fl-1896 u fost ir-rebbieħa matul l-aħħar 127 sena kien hemm ismijiet illustri bħal Sir Darrin Zammit, Robert Caruana Dingley, Oreste Kirkop u Carmela Zoppardi. Magħhom issa jingħaqad Darrin Zammit Lupi li l-Malta Society of Arts għadha kif premjat bl-istess midalja b'rikonoxximent għall kontribut tiegħu għall-arti fotografika tul bosta snin, kif ukoll iżda għal xogħol sinifikanti tiegħu fil-qasam tal-fotografija ġurnalistika. Karriera ta' dedikazzjoni kontinwa li saħansitra saħħet il-prattika fotografika f'kuntesti umanitarji u soċjali, kemm f'Malta u kif ukoll lil minnha.
It's a huge honor, one which I certainly wasn't expecting. And it was a huge kind of shock, if you like, when I got the phone call about it a few months ago. And when I saw the previous list of recipients, I felt really kind of, this has to be a mistake, because it's such a prestigious group of people that I felt, like the imposter syndrome sort of thing. That was certainly a very strong feeling. My interest in photography dates back like decades. I mean, when I was a kid, I was always drawing and painting, so I was always very visually oriented. And then at the beginning of the 1980s, my father subscribed to National Geographic magazine, and like countless other people, that's kind of what clinched it. That's what inspired me to take pictures. And I remember taking my first photo not very long afterwards. Something I got from Geographic was wanting to tell stories. I wanted to tell stories, human stories, environmental stories. I think one which is very memorable for me was back in 1998. These African migrants were brought in on a civil vessel, and they were in really, really bad shape. I remember the AFM carried them off one by one. None of them could walk. At the time, it felt like it's just another assignment in sort of like, of the many assignments I do as a Times photographer. And I sent some photos to Reuters because I said, it might interest them. I don't know, let's try. The next morning, I had the front pages of all the newspapers in Italy. And that's what kind of convinced me to stick with the story for so long. Something I still photograph nowadays. It's important to keep telling that story.